You know that feeling, don't you? That sort of electric current running through a stadium when a soccer game isn't just, well, a game, but it's this sprawling, dramatic narrative unfolding right there in real time,
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
every single pass, every tackle, every moment feels charged, like it could be the one that flips the whole script.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we are diving deep into precisely that kind of match. One that really had it all. Raw drama, flashes of tactical brilliance, undeniable intensity, and, yeah, a truly historic finish.
Sounds gripping.
We're talking about the electrifying FIFA Club World Cup round of 16 clash between two absolute titans of Brazilian soccer, Palmeiras and Botafogo RJ.
Ah, okay. A massive fixture.
Right. This wasn't just any knockout game. It felt deeply symbolic. A contest loaded with layers of history and this palpable tension that you could feel even thousands of miles from their home turf.
And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how this specific match, set against the backdrop of the brand new expanded 32-team FIFA Club World Cup. Well, it basically served as a microcosm of everything that makes global club soccer so compelling.
Exact.
I mean, to see two teams with such a deep-rooted, really fiercely competitive rivalry suddenly find themselves facing off on the world stage rather than, their usual domestic pitches, that really set a precedent for what this new tournament is aiming for.
It amplified everything, didn't
It
it?
absolutely did.
Yeah. And our mission in this deep dive is, well, it's to meticulously extract every important nugget of knowledge from the sources you provided us. We're going to pull back the curtain on those tactical decisions that really shape the flow of the game. We'll celebrate the individual heroics, the moments that emerged under immense pressure. We want to immerse ourselves in that incredible fan experience that somehow transcended continents.
Right, that atmosphere.
And dissect the broader implications for both clubs involved, naturally, but also for the tournament itself. Think of this as your, let's say, definitive shortcut to understanding not just what happened on that scorching day in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I heard it was hot.
Oh, yeah. But why it matters so profoundly and what it means for the bigger picture of soccer globally. We'll slice through the raw stats, peek behind those coaching decisions that altered destinies.
The big calls.
Exactly. And bring you direct insights from the players themselves, all conspiring to give you that powerful aha moment of, complete nuanced understanding.
And I think beyond just understanding the game itself, which is great, we'll connect the dots too. We'll explore how this single pivotal match sort of reverberates through the rest of the season for both Palmeiras and Botafogo.
Okay.
And even how it carves out its own little niche within the broader tapestry of soccer history.
Right.
Because it really was quite unique.
It was.
Our goal is to help you see the patterns, the implications that often get lost in the heat of the moment, the adrenaline, allowing you to see the game not just as an isolated event, but as a crucial piece of a much larger story within the sport.
Okay, let's really set the stage then. This match unfolded within the highly anticipated context of the FIFA Club World Cup 2025. And let's be crystal clear, this is not the Club World Cup you might remember from previous years.
No, definitely not.
This is a completely new beast, a spectacular, dramatically expanded 32-team tournament. It's just a seismic shift from the old, more intimate format.
And that expansion isn't just about numbers, is it? It's incredibly significant in its intent. FIFA's vision, as I understand it, was to genuinely globalize club soccer, bringing together a much wider array of teams from basically every corner of the planet, thereby, intensifying the competition and truly transforming it into a global club championship, not just a contest between a few continental winners.
Yeah, it changes the whole feel.
This fundamental change completely shifts the dynamic. It allows for these truly fascinating early round matchups like this Brazilian derby that, previously just wouldn't even been possible. It's designed to be a crucible, really.
This new format, initially it did get its fair share of criticism. There were concerns raised that maybe it was too big, or it could dilute the quality, or just overwhelm the soccer calendar.
Yeah, I remember that talk.
But this match, specifically between Palmeiras and Botafogo RJ, it really served as compelling proof of its viability, I think. It unequivocally showed that the competitive level and just the sheer entertainment value are absolutely there when you bring this many top teams together, even early in the knockout rounds. It was a bold move by FIFA, for sure. And this game, it offered a powerful argument in its favor.
And when we connect this to the bigger picture of club soccer, it's vital to understand this wasn't just any knockout game. For these two specific teams, Palmeiras and Botafogo, it was basically an extension of their intense, deeply personal domestic competition.
Right, taken abroad.
Exactly. Now amplified and played out for a truly global audience on neutral ground.
Oh.
And this raises a really fascinating and actually quite complex question, doesn't it?
Which is?
How do these deep-rooted national rivalries forged over decades, countless brutal domestic battles, how do they translate when they're suddenly brought to a neutral international setting like the Club World Cup?
Good question.
Do they lose some of that visceral, almost tribal edge? Or do they, maybe paradoxically, intensify because the stakes are suddenly so much higher and the global spotlight is just so much brighter?
And what did we see here?
Well, for Palmeiras and Botafogo, I think we saw a pretty emphatic answer. It felt very intense.
That's a truly thought-provoking point. Because we're not talking about just any two clubs. We're talking Palmeiras and Botafogo RJ, two of the absolute biggest, most historically significant clubs in Brazilian soccer.
Giants. Absolute giants.
Their domestic history against each other is incredibly rich. It's a tapestry woven with dramatic twists, turns, triumphs, heartbreaking defeats, you name it. This deep-seated rivalry just injected an undeniable extra layer of intensity into this already high-stakes Club World Cup match. It truly was, in many ways, a Brazilian civil war on a global stage, far from the familiar sights and sounds of home.
Yeah.
And speaking of home, or rather the temporary, adopted home for this clash, it was played at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
The venue choice itself is interesting, isn't it? Bringing a distinctly South American flavor to the USA, specifically Philly. It vividly underscores the global reach and, let's say, the ambitious aspirations of this expanded tournament.
Definitely a statement.
It's a strategic move, right? Designed to tap into new markets, to introduce and immerse new fan bases in the, frankly, unparalleled passion and technical artistry of South American soccer, letting fans who might not otherwise see it live witness it firsthand.
Yeah, and potentially building for the future, too.
Exactly. It hints at that potential future expansion of soccer's global footprint.
And what a setting it turned out to be. You have to imagine this. A blistering hot Philadelphia summer day. The sources called it scorching summer heat. And that's not just color.
No, that affects everything.
It absolutely impacts player performance, influences tactics, affects the game flow, especially over 90 minutes, let alone 120 with extra time. That relentless humidity and heat would have been a constant unseen opponent for both teams.
Pushing endurance to the limit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you have this truly incredible crowd. Official attendance, 33,657. Over 33,000 fans, mostly fervent Palmeiras supporters, creating this unbelievable, vibrant, almost deafening South American atmosphere.
Wow.
It was like they'd somehow physically transplanted a piece of Brazil, the chants, the drums, the sea of green and white, the relentless energy right into the heart of an American stadium.
Yeah.
It wasn't just noise. It was this immersive, living thing fueling the players.
That's incredible. And the global broadcast reach just underlines the sheer importance and drawing power of this particular match.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
It's accessible worldwide. TNT, True TV, Univision, TDN, DAZN. This really broad coverage meant not only were the fans in Philadelphia completely immersed, but millions more around the world could witness this historic clash live.
From Europe to Asia, everywhere.
Yeah, further solidifying its status as a marquee event in this new tournament format. And that global viewership also, validates the concept of a truly global Club World Cup.
All right, so the stage is meticulously set. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. The heat is a tangible factor. Let's talk kickoff. Early dynamics of the game, starting with those crucial starting lineups and formations.
Okay.
Palmeiras, under their highly regarded coach, Abel Ferreira, lined up in a disciplined yet flexible 4-2-3-1. You had the experienced Weverton in goal. A backline of Agustin Gia, commanding Gustavo Gomez, their captain, huge presence, Bruno Fuchs, and Joaquin Piqueras, who likes to get forward.
Right.
The midfield pivot was anchored by Richard Rios and Emiliano Martinez, giving defensive cover, but also a platform to build attacks.
The double pivot.
That's exactly. And the creative engine room.
Yeah.
Estevão, Mauricio, and Alan,
Yeah.
operating just behind the main striker, Vitor Roque.
So looking at that Palmeiras 4-2-3-1, you immediately see a design that prioritizes both defensive solidity through that Rios and Martinez pivot and attacking flexibility with that trio behind Roque. It suggests an intent from Abel Ferreira to control the middle, dictate the tempo, while also having various ways to penetrate. Wide attacks from Fullbacks and wingers or central combinations, incisive passes.
Lots of options.
Yeah, the 4-2-3-1 allows for fluid movement, interchangeability, makes them hard to mark, especially with Roque as a mobile focal point. It's a system built on balance and adaptability, really.
And then Botafogo under Renato Paiva, they came out in a more traditional yet still potent 4-3-3 formation.
Okay.
Their lineup, John Victor in goal, Vitinho, Jericuna, Alexander Barbosa, and Alex Telles across the back. A midfield three of Alan, Danilo Barbosa, and their captain, Marlon Freitas. Lots of energy and distribution there.
Solid midfield.
And then that classic attacking trident. Artur Guimarães, Igor Jesus, and Jefferson Savarino leading the line.
Examining Botafogo's 4-3-3, it's a classic attacking shape. Usually aims for width, directness through the wingers, strong central presence from the striker.
Right.
However, with that midfield three, they also have that inherent flexibility to drop deep, bolster the defense, shift into a more compact block when they lose the ball.
Which we saw them do.
Exactly. As we saw unfold in that first half, this defensive aspect became a key, almost overriding part of their strategy. So looking at these initial setups, you could already sense that tactical chess match brewing. A battle of philosophies.
Definitely.
Palmeiras with their slightly more fluid, possession-based attacking shape, while Botafogo went for that classic trident that could and did rapidly shift between attack and disciplined defense depending on the game state.
And what a chess match it turned out to be, especially in those opening 45 minutes. It was incredibly tight, intensely tactical, a real stalemate where neither side seemed willing to blink first.
Yeah, very cagey.
And the most striking, almost unbelievable stat from that first half, neither team registered a single shot on target. Not one.
That is truly remarkable and profoundly telling for a match of this caliber, isn't it? Especially between two attacking Brazilian teams.
You just don't expect it.
No. It speaks volumes, not just about defensive solidity, but about the profound caution from both sides. Each team seemingly prioritized not conceding above everything else, rather than pushing aggressively for an early goal.
Yeah, risk averse.
It just underscores the immense high stakes of a Club World Cup knockout match and the deep respect these two giants have for each other's attacking power. It felt like psychological warfare almost, probing for weakness.
Can you believe that? A FIFA Club World Cup match, two of Brazil's best, packed with attacking talent, and for 45 minutes not a single shot gets near either goal. It truly speaks to that stifling intensity, the sheer weight of the occasion. You could almost feel the tension ratcheting up in the stadium, that palpable sense that both teams were meticulously feeling each other out, unwilling to make that first, potentially fatal mistake. Every pass felt deliberate, every tackle vital.
And this brings us right to Botafogo's initial strategy. It's a fascinating study in tactical pragmatism. They actually held slightly more possession in that first half, 53.3% to Palmeiras' 46.7%.
Which is interesting in itself.
Right. Yet, despite having more of the ball, they still didn't get a shot on target. Why? Because they adopted a very clear, almost textbook, defensive counterattack strategy.
Okay.
They controlled the ball, yes, but often deep in their own half, prioritizing a compact defensive shape, stifling Palmeiras' intricate attacks, over actively creating their own clear-cut chances. Their possession was often safe, circulating the ball without really penetrating.
So basically, they had the ball, they were passing it around, but they weren't really doing anything threatening with it towards Palmeiras' goal. It was possession without menace, almost.
Precisely. That's the classic paradox in modern soccer, isn't it? Having more possession doesn't automatically mean more threat or dominance. Botafogo consciously prioritized stifling Palmeiras, closing down passing lanes, forcing them wide, even if it meant sacrificing their own clear attacking opportunities.
A calculated risk.
A calculated risk, exactly. Yeah. Essentially hoping to maybe frustrate Palmeiras, wear them down, perhaps catch them on a quick, incisive break. But as the stats clearly show, this approach undeniably limited their own offensive output despite having more of the ball.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie there.
It's a pragmatic approach, often frustrating to watch maybe, but understandable when facing a strong opponent. Their focus was clearly on disrupting Palmeiras' rhythm first and foremost.
Okay, so the second half starts. Still 0-0. And then, almost immediately, a brief, heart-stopping moment of what if. 50th minute. Palmeiras' dynamic 18-year-old talent, Estevan, the one reportedly Chelsea-bound. Huge expectations.
Yeah, the wonder kid.
He finds the net. Everyone thought that was it, the crucial breakthrough goal. For a fleeting second, the stadium just erupts, convinced the deadlock was finally broken.
Oh, I bet the noise was incredible.
Must have been. But then, as is standard now in these high-stakes games, VAR. The video assistant referee correctly intervenes.
The dreaded review.
Exactly. After a brief but, intense review, the system confirmed the offside call. Goal ruled out.
Ah, tough one.
Yeah. While it undeniably denied that potential early breakthrough, deflated the initial euphoria, it also showed the effectiveness, the critical importance of VAR in ensuring fair play in these moments.
Got to get those calls right.
Absolutely.
Great.
And there were no major VAR controversies around this decision. It was seen as a precise, accurate application of the rules. Prolonged the tension, sure, but maintained integrity.
Right.
So that 18-year-old Estevan thought he had it. An early second-half goal could have completely changed the game's complexion, right? Forced Botafogo to open up, chase the game much earlier.
Totally different dynamic, then.
It was super close, apparently, matter of inches. But technology got it right, which is crucial in such a big, globally broadcast game. The drama just kept building, the tension almost unbearable, but the score stubbornly stayed 0-0.
And that's precisely when we saw what truly turned out to be Palmeiras coach Abel Ferreira's masterstroke, a decision that would ultimately define the match.
Okay, lay it on us.
In the 64th minute, game still locked in that tactical stalemate, Abel makes a pivotal double substitution. He brings on Paulinho and Luis, replacing Estevan and V4 Roque.
Wow, taking off two big names.
Exactly. This wasn't just a like-for-like change or simply bringing on fresh legs. This was a nuanced key tactical adjustment that ultimately proved to be the game-winning decision. It subtly, yet fundamentally, altered Palmeiras' attacking profile.
Now, this is a huge moment. It really highlights the coach's brilliance, or maybe bravery. Swapping out two high-profile attackers, a rising star like Estevan, a proven scorer like Roque, at such a critical point in a 0-0 knockout game.
Takes guts.
It takes immense guts, strategic foresight, a deep, almost intuitive understanding of the game's flow. Abel Ferreira later said in his post-match comments, he surprised them for 15 minutes with this change.
Interesting quote.
It was a bold gamble, wasn't it? And it paid off massively, shifting the momentum.
This is truly where the genius of coaching, or at least effective coaching, shines through. It's not just about picking the starting 11. It's about that dynamic in-game read, understanding how the opposition is reacting and having the courage, the conviction to make bold adjustments.
Yeah.
Abel's decision to bring on Paulinho and Luis fundamentally shifted Palmeiras' attack. Paulinho with his direct running, ability to play off the left, Luis offering a different kind of central threat. They injected new energy and, crucially, unpredictable movement that Botafogo's defense hadn't quite adapted to yet.
Unsettled them.
Exactly. It unsettled their defensive structure just enough. And this raises that fascinating question again. How much is a coach's intuitive read, that gut feeling, influencing these decisions versus meticulously planned scenarios and data?
Yeah, head versus heart.
For Abel here, it felt like an almost instantaneous, brilliant blend of both, executed with impeccable timing.
And that tactical genius, that bold move, culminated in the decisive, historic goal, scored by none other than the super sub Paulinho in the 100th minute, deep into the first period of extra time.
Wow, extra time heroics.
The assist, a perfectly weighted pass, came from Richard Rios. And the description of the goal is just pure soccer brilliance. Paulinho gets the pass from the right side of the box, cut sharply inside.
Okay.
Then, with incredible individual skill and sheer determination, he dribbles past not one, but two Botafogo defenders. Even gets into a fierce physical duel with Alexander Barbosa.
Picking them on.
And then unleashes this powerful low left-footed shot right into the far corner. Pure class under unimaginable pressure.
Incredible. An individual effort, yes, but one born directly out of that collective tactical decision that created the space, the opportunity. Paulinho's ability to receive it tight, take on multiple defenders so quickly, and then execute such a precise, powerful shot, especially with his weaker foot, just speaks volumes about his skill, composure, mental strength under that immense pressure.
Yeah, unreal composure.
This moment perfectly highlights how individual brilliance can break seemingly unbreakable stalemates. Especially when both teams are exhausted, margins are razor thin. It was a goal that just encapsulated the whole struggle of the match in one electrifying burst.
And this is where the narrative just takes off, doesn't it? Paulinho, the super sub, stepping up 100th minute, extra time, only goal of the game. That individual effort, taking on two defenders, weaker foot finish, that's legendary stuff. The kind of moment fans replay forever.
Absolutely. Stuff of dreams for him.
And his post-match comments really underline the magnitude of his personal journey, too. He spoke openly about overcoming a tough injury period, credited his coach's unwavering support in getting him back integrated.
Shows the importance of the coach-player relationship.
Definitely. And then he delivered that line that defines the competitive spirit you need at this level. He said, there's no time for self-pity in this competition. You just have to make things happen. What an inspiring mentality.
That's powerful. Paulinho's comments give us that rare, poignant glimpse into the individual sacrifices, the dedication, the sheer mental fortitude needed to perform at this elite level.
It's not just talent.
Not at all. Coming back from a significant injury, regaining form, then delivering in that moment, it's profoundly about resilience. Overcoming setbacks, seizing the moment, trusting the process, the support system. His statement about no time for self-pity just perfectly captures that unyielding, high-pressure environment of the Club World Cup.
Yeah. Adds a real human element to the heroics.
Definitely.
So after that stunning goal, Botafogo knew they had only one option left, right, go for broke.
All or nothing time.
In the very last minutes of extra time, around the 120th minute, they threw everything forward, committing every available player into attack, full attack mode. Desperate, frantic attempt to find that equalizer. It was chaotic, thrilling stuff at the end.
They certainly did. A final desperate surge, but by then, the clock was just an unforgiving enemy, wasn't it?
Taken down fast.
And Palmeiras, even though they were down to 10 men for that short period, they managed to solidify their defense, formed a resolute wall around their goal.
Held firm.
But while Botafogo couldn't find the equalizer, it's absolutely essential we acknowledge the truly outstanding performance of their goalkeeper, João Victor.
Yes. Man of the match.
Quite rightly named man of the match, despite being on the losing side. His individual effort, making a string of crucial acrobatic saves throughout the entire game, especially during Palmeiras' periods of pressure, it highlighted his exceptional quality. He kept Botafogo in it for as long as humanly possible.
He was immense.
Colossal figure. Denied Palmeiras multiple times before that final breakthrough.
Okay, let's talk battle scars then. The raw numbers that tell the deeper story of this incredibly intense match. When we dive into the stats, they really paint a vivid picture of the struggle, don't they?
They do. Numbers tell a story.
For possession, it's interesting. Botafogo actually had more of the ball, 53.3% to Palmeiras' 46.7%. But, as we discussed, that numerical advantage in possession emphatically did not translate into dominance or, superior attacking threat.
Indeed. And connecting this back to the tactics, this stat really hammers home that point. Possession for possession's sake means very little if you can't convert it into genuine threats on goal.
Right.
Botafogo held the ball more, yes, but often in less dangerous areas, or they were forced sideways and backward. They consistently struggled to break down Palmeiras' well-organized, disciplined defensive shape. Highlights the difference between passive ball retention and purposeful, penetrative possession.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you see that directly reflected in the shot count, which is maybe the more telling indicator. Palmeiras unleashed 19 shots total. Botafogo managed 16. So both teams were trying, putting in the effort, looking for openings.
Decent volume from both.
But the crucial stat, the one that determines outcomes, is shots on target. Palmeiras. 5 shots on target. Botafogo, just 2, across the entire 120 minutes.
And that's the critical distinction, isn't it? It clearly shows how few genuine threats Botafogo created despite their possession. Palmeiras, even with less overall possession, were far more incisive, more direct when they attacked. They found ways to test João Victor.
Read the keeper work.
Those 5 shots on target for Palmeiras, culminating in Paulinho's goal, just underscore their greater efficiency, their cutting edge in the final third. They were simply more effective when it really mattered.
And then there were the corners. Palmeiras earned a whopping 15 corners compared to Botafogo's 8. Again, this stat strongly points to Palmeiras' more direct, more sustained attacking pressure. Right. Their ability to force defensive actions, blocks, clearances, deflections from Botafogo's backline.
Yeah, that high number of corners for Palmeiras is a clear indicator of sustained pressure, repeated waves of attack. It suggests they are consistently putting the ball into dangerous areas around Botafogo's box, leading to those deflections and clearances.
Leaving them pinned back.
This directness, combined with their ability to get shots on target, reveals a more effective, threatening attacking strategy overall, even if it didn't mean overwhelming possession. Speaks to their commitment to getting the ball into high-value areas.
And you just know a game has been fiercely contested, overflowing with raw intensity when you look at the disciplinary record. Palmeiras, 4 yellows, 1 red. Botafogo, 6 yellows. That's a staggering total of 10 yellows and 1 red across 120 minutes.
Phew. Yeah, connecting that to the narrative, these stats paint that vivid picture of a relentlessly physical, fiercely contested match, but also maybe one where real attacking quality, especially in the first half, was a bit hard to come by.
Definitely physical.
The high card count perfectly illustrates that intense and fiery description, suggests a bruising midfield battle, tactical fouls to break up play, pushing the boundaries, all hallmarks of these high-stakes rivalry games where every inch is fought for.
The red card was undoubtedly a key disciplinary moment, added even more drama right at the end. Palmeiras' captain, the influential Gustavo Gomez, sent off in the 116th minute, just minutes after Paulinho's goal.
Right near the end.
Second yellow card. Clear tactical foul, professional decision to stop a dangerous Botafogo counter as they desperately pushed for that equalizer.
That's a classic captain's moment, isn't it? Especially for someone as experienced and pivotal as Gomez. Seeing his team ahead by one, vulnerable to a late equalizer, he makes the professional foul, the ultimate sacrifice play.
Case one for the team.
Exactly. Stops the threat decisively. It's an act of gritty determination, taking himself out but potentially preserving the result in those dying embers. Highlights the desperation, the commitment on display. Testament to his leadership, doing whatever it takes.
The tactical foul, 116th minute, Gomez, the captain, sacrificing himself. That's that gritty resolve you see in cup finals, even when you're already ahead. Speaks volumes about the single-minded commitment to just secure that win.
And it's important to note, given all that intensity, the cards, that despite all this on-field tension, the VAR calls were largely non-controversial.
Yeah, the sources highlighted that.
No major VAR controversies, they said. The crucial offside on Estevan's goal was confirmed as correct. This points to a well-officiated match, which is vital in such a tight, emotionally charged game.
Yep, the focus on the players.
Right. It meant the focus stayed on the players, the tactics, the flow, rather than debatable refereeing or long reviews. Allowed the true drama to shine through.
All right, let's get into the voices of the game then. What do the coaches, the master tacticians, and the hero of the hour have to say afterwards? First up, Abel Ferreira, Palmeiras head coach. Understandably beaming, right? Mixture of relief and satisfaction.
Must have been.
He said, "We played a great match, playing well for 90 minutes and an extra time. We suffered together when we were one man down, but we deserved to win. We will continue to fight for our dream to the very end."
Abel's comments reveal a coach who's not just invested tactically, but deeply connected to his squad. He shrewdly acknowledges the difficulty, especially playing with 10 men, but he champions their resilience, their collective spirit.
Yeah, emphasizes the togetherness.
It highlights that crucial psychological aspect of top coaching, instilling belief, fostering unity, maintaining morale just as important as any pre-match plan. He's clearly a leader who knows how to rally his players.
He also took a moment to staunchly defend that pivotal decision to sub Estevan, which, as we said, was a huge, bold call. He explained, "I surprised them for 15 minutes, but they quickly adapted to our rhythm."
That explanation from Abel is fascinating, really insightful. It suggests he understood the tactical advantage from that double sub Paulinho and Luis would be temporary, a window of opportunity.
A calculated window.
Exactly. Enough to create the decisive moment. He aimed for a precise, disruptive 15-minute surprise, and his team capitalized perfectly. Testament to his foresight, his willingness to take calculated risks, and his belief in his players executing that short-term plan.
It wasn't about sustained change, just impactful timing.
Precisely.
Then we have Renato Paiva, the Botafogo head coach. Despite the heartbreaking loss, extra time, he expressed a profound sense of pride in his team. Said, "Regardless of the result, I am proud. We were evenly matched with a team that knows each other very well."
That's a very gracious but also realistic assessment from Paiva, isn't it? Acknowledging they were evenly matched despite sort of painful loss shows he recognizes the quality of Palmeiras and the intense nature of the game.
Yeah, respects the opponent.
Suggests a coach who values performance, effort, tactical execution as much as the final result, especially in a one-off match like this against a huge rival. Sign of a strong, pragmatic leader.
But then, he couldn't quite resist a subtle, yet pretty pointed jab about the criticisms regarding Botafogo's player investment compared to clubs like Palmeiras.
The financial aspect.
He stated, "I really like these psychological games. Abel talks about our investment, but none of us cost as much as Paulinho or Vitor Roca."
Oh.
You feel the pride, but also that sharp, competitive jab.
Subtle but clear.
Paiva, cleverly, almost defiantly, shifts the narrative. Reminds everyone about the investment disparity. It highlights that the game isn't just on the field, is it? It's intertwined with the economics, the financial might behind the scenes.
This comment from Paiva is incredibly insightful. Resonates far beyond just this match. It reveals those underlying tensions, perceived financial imbalances, differing club philosophies, very much part of Brazilian soccer.
Yeah, it's always there.
While coaches often play psychological games via the media, Paiva referencing player costs isn't just a jab. It highlights a very real, ongoing debate about financial parity, resource allocation, the impact of deep pockets on competitive balance.
Challenges the narrative.
It subtly challenges that simplistic idea that a win is purely about on-field performance. Suggests investment scale plays a significant foundational role in shaping capabilities, depth, expectations. It's a pointed critique that extends well beyond the 120 minutes.
And finally, the man of the moment, Paulinho. Goal scorer. Sent Palmeiras through. His joy and humility were palpable. I am very lucky to have scored the goal.
Nice touch of humility there.
He also shared a bit about his personal journey, acknowledging the coach's role and helping him integrate back after that difficult injury period, and then powerfully reiterated that competitive, relentless spirit, declaring there is no time for self-pity in this competition. You have to make things happen.
Paulinho's comments again offer that inspiring glimpse into the sacrifices, the mental fortitude, the dedication required at this elite level. It's never just talent. It's resilience, overcoming setbacks like major injuries, having the psychological strength to seize the moment when it arrives.
Absolutely crucial.
His statement, "No time for self-pity," perfectly encapsulates that high-pressure, competitive environment of the Club World Cup. Every player must be ready, mentally and physically, to perform under immense scrutiny, especially coming back from adversity. Powerful message about excellence and personal triumph.
So beyond the 90 minutes, or in this case, the grueling 120, what are the broader implications, the enduring historical significance of this match? Well, first off, Palmeiras, with this dramatic win, became the very first team to qualify for the quarterfinals of this new expanded Club World Cup.
That's a truly significant milestone, not just for the club, but for the inaugural expanded tournament itself. Being the first team through sets a benchmark, provides an immense confidence boost.
Puts a target on their back, maybe?
Maybe, but also positions them as a serious contender immediately. Having already overcome a formidable domestic rival on the international stage, it's a statement victory.
And now they know their next monumental challenge. July 4th, against either European giants Chelsea or the formidable Benfica. The stakes for Palmeiras just keep getting higher, facing even tougher, world-class opposition next.
Indeed. Facing a top European club like Chelsea or Benfica so early is both an immense challenge and an unparalleled opportunity for Palmeiras to test themselves, showcase their quality, measure up against the very best globally.
Exactly what the tournament's about.
Precisely the kind of high-profile, continent-spanning matchup the expanded Club World Cup was designed to create. Elevates the tournament's prestige and global appeal.
This victory also carried enormous psychological weight for Palmeiras, beyond just tournament progression. It definitively ended their frustrating 7-match winless streak against Botafogo, a jinx plaguing them since November 2023.
Getting that monkey off their back.
And conversely, it abruptly snapped Botafogo's impressive 5-match unbeaten streak against Palmeiras.
This adds that profound psychological layer. Can be as significant, if not more so, than just advancing. Ending a long jinx against a fierce rival is a monumental confidence builder. Releases pressure, fosters new belief.
And for Botafogo?
For the losing side, conversely, it can create a subtle mental block in future encounters. Reshapes the rivalry's narrative, at least for a while. It's like a reset button for the psychological landscape of this derby.
And here's where it gets really historically rare. This match was only the second Brazilian Civil War in the entire history of the FIFA Club World Cup. Think about that. Only the second time ever that 2 Brazilian clubs have faced off in this prestigious global club competition.
Wow. For context, the very first time was that iconic 2000 final, Corinthians versus Vasco da Gama.
Right.
So to have 2 Brazilian powerhouses meet again, especially in the early knockout stages of this new format, truly elevates this match into an elite, exclusive club within soccer history. It's a testament to Brazil's consistent, enduring strength in club soccer globally.
Shows the depth.
Demonstrates their deep reservoir of talent, tactical acumen. Underscores the quality running through their domestic game.
Let's quickly look at the 2025 season background for both teams, because their recent domestic form definitely influenced their mindset coming into this global tournament. For Palmeiras, runners-up in the Paulista Championship, lost narrowly to Corinthians, missed out on a historic four-peat there.
Ah, that would have stung.
In the Brazil round, their domestic league, they had a tight 0-0 draw with Botafogo in the first round, foreshadowing this tight contest, really. And in the CWC group stage, solid performance. Top Group A, 1 win, 2 draws, 4 goals. Steady form.
Understanding that domestic form gives a clearer picture of their mindset. Palmeiras, maybe carrying the sting of missing that four-peat, brought a certain hunger, a point to prove. Arrived as group winners, showing solid, composed form, ready to make a statement internationally after that domestic near-miss. Had momentum, but also quiet determination.
And for Botafogo, their season context was a bit more varied. Mixed bag. Relatively poor performance in the Carioca Championship. Missed the top 8, a disappointment for fans. However, they came into the Brasileirão as defending champions. That carries prestige experience. And in the CWC group stage, finished second in Group B, and notably that included a really impressive 1-0 win over PSG.
Yeah, that was a big result.
Showcased their potential to rise to the occasion against top European opponents.
Botafogo's background is indeed a compelling blend. Defending league champs suggests a strong core winning mentality. But those Carioca struggles indicated inconsistency, maybe strategic prioritizing. That PSG win, though, was a clear demonstration of their capacity to deliver against elite international opponents.
So both arrived with unique motivations.
Exactly. Different trajectories, specific points to prove, added further layers to that intense rivalry.
Finally, let's zoom out. Consider the bigger picture. How this match, specifically, helped validate this new, ambitious 32-team FIFA Club World Cup format. Beyond the goals, cards, heroics. What really resonated globally was how this match became a powerful, compelling showcase for Brazilian soccer's strength and passion. The fan passion, player skill, tactical depth from both coaches, all magnificently on display for a global audience.
The match was indeed widely reported as a resounding testament to Brazilian soccer strength, brilliantly showcasing the tactical and technical level of South American soccer to an audience perhaps more focused on Europe usually.
Yeah, great showcase.
And the fact that over 33,000 fans could create such an authentic, vibrant South American atmosphere in Philadelphia spoke volumes about the transnational appeal of these clubs and this rivalry.
Incredible atmosphere.
It wasn't just a game, it was an event. Conclusively proved the global drawing power and undeniable quality of non-European soccer, made a powerful argument for the expanded format.
And that leads right to the core proof of concept for the 32-team Club World Cup. The successful hosting, the undeniable competitive level, the sheer entertainment value of this match specifically. It demonstrated the feasibility, maybe the wisdom, of the expansion.
Yeah, answered some questions.
Even though it faced significant initial criticism, skepticism about scale and impact, this particular game delivered a truly competitive, deeply engaging, wildly entertaining spectacle. It silenced many of those initial doubts, I think.
This is a critical takeaway from a broader strategic view. This single game played a crucial role in validating FIFA's ambitious expansion. It powerfully showed that bringing diverse, high-caliber teams from across the globe together can truly elevate the tournament's standing, its competitive integrity, its global appeal.
Suggests it can work.
Suggests that despite early skepticism, the format can deliver competitive, entertaining games. Unequivocally justifying the significant investment and complex logistics involved, it's a very strong, compelling argument for the future evolution of global club soccer.
So what does this all truly mean? Well, it means a single decisive goal in extra time scored by a super sub not only sent Palmeiras to the quarterfinals of a brand new global tournament, but also cemented this game's undeniable place in soccer history. A dramatic, gritty 1-0 extra time win for Palmeiras over fierce rivals Botafogo RJ. A truly real, deeply felt, historically significant match that fiercely extended a long-standing domestic rivalry onto the grandest global stage.
And this match leaves us with a really important, maybe even profound question to ponder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As we look to the future of the sport.
Go on.
As club soccer continues its relentless march towards ever-increasing globalization, expands with these ambitious new formats, how will these deeply personal, intensely regional rivalries, the very heart and soul of so many clubs, how will they adapt and evolve when played out on such vast, neutral, international stages?
That's a big question.
And perhaps even more importantly, what does that mean for the fundamental identity of the sport itself, as local loyalties potentially merge or get diluted into these sprawling universal spectacles?
A fantastic, truly thought-provoking question to mull over. We sincerely hope this deep dive has given you a fresh perspective, maybe an enhanced appreciation, and certainly a richer understanding of this incredible game, its context, and its implications. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep enjoying the beautiful game.